Well, at least we've got consistency, lads. We've got consistency. 2 bullshit performances. Bullshit performances in a row from Manchester United. A 2-1 defeat at the hands of Istanbul basaksehir. And they deserve the points. They deserve the 3 points in the group. And we killed it. The opening goal after 12 minutes absolutely killed us. It killed us. We've been talking about it all the time on this stream. We've been talking about it in previews to loads of different games. If a team sits back against us, we never get to break it down. We never get to break it down. We don't have enough quality to break it down. We should have enough quality, but we don't. Once we conceded that goal, they were able to sit back and just play long balls to a 35-year-old Demba Ba. That's all they did. Realistically in the game. Look back and watch the game. All they did in that second half and in the rest of the first half after that goal was lob the ball up to Demba Ba. That was it. That was it. That was all they did. But they were allowed to do that. They could afford to do that because we gave that first goal away. If it's 0-0 and they still have to come at us, if we keep that 0-0, eventually they start to come. And then they start to take chances, gaps in behind, and we can punish them. But to give a goal away like that, I'm sorry. I mean, I've never seen a goal like that. Ever. Where was the defence? It's the 12th minute of the game and we've got no one back. It's almost laughable. We've got no one back on the halfway line in the 12th minute. We weren't even going for a goal. The 12th minute of the game, guys. I don't think you understand how mad that is. I mean, the 2 people I blame for that are Solskjaer and Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's the captain. He's got to have to take some responsibility for the lack of coordination in there. And so does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course. He's the manager. I cannot believe that goal was allowed. Realistically, after that goal, they were always going to win or draw that game. Always. Because we weren't going to beat a low block. And as Matthews rightly pointed out, yes, I did get a haircut. But do you know what? I paid £10 to go to a Turkish barber today, and then a Turkish side beat me. I'm a dickhead. I am a dickhead. I'm actually a dickhead. I paid 10 quid to go to a Turkish barber, get a haircut, just for Istanbul to beat us. I swear. I'm a dickhead. Oh my gosh. But as I said, I almost can't be asked to moan, to be honest. I can't be asked to sit here for a long period and just talk about a shite defeat. Really, I don't have the energy for it. That game just sucked all the energy I had. I was so looking forward to potentially talking positively, after a win, having 9 points in the group, only really needing 1 point to kind of secure qualification to the next round in our last 3 games. I mean, if we beat Istanbul at home, we should be alright, we should be fine. But now it's not guaranteed at all. If one of PSG or Leipzig win their game, then one of them goes second on 6 points, and the 2 other teams are on 3, and we've got 3 games to go, which means that, in theory, we could still finish last in the group. If we won the game today, we could still potentially finish last in the group, but we pretty well could have killed that off because Istanbul would have had to won all 3 of their games, and we would have to lost all 3 of our games, and the goal difference and stuff. So if we had won today, we would have basically made sure that we weren't getting knocked out of Europe, at least, even if we go into the Europa League. Yeah, man. Movie/game reviews, thanks for joining us. Ollie's in trouble. As I said, Ollie's on the ropes. Ollie is on the ropes. He's being hit by Mike Tyson right now with a load of haymakers. He's on the ropes. I've supported Ollie, I've backed Ollie under a lot of scrutiny from people, and there are a lot of people telling me I'm deluded, a lot of people saying I'm a Glazer puppet, whatever. But all jokes aside, this defeat is very worrying for me. Very, very worrying. A lot of you will probably say Ollie out. A lot of you. Rashid, thanks for joining, Rashid. Appreciate it. He says Ollie's time is up at United. Kobe, thanks for joining as well. Says looks like Ollie has found his Mason Mount. McTominay. Yeah, we need a goal, yeah? Scott McTominay comes on the field. Are we a joke? Are we a joke to Solskjaer? Scott McTominay comes on the pitch when we need a goal. Scott McTominay. And I didn't even think he had that bad of a game when he came on, but We need a goal, mate. We need a goal. We're not holding on to a 1-0 lead. We need a goal away from home, and you bring on Scott McTominay. Come on, man. Come on. I didn't agree with that. Kobe here says, what was Matic doing, and Ollie and Carrick not shouting at Matic? I mean, look, Matic was the only one back. At least he was somewhere back. At least he was in the picture. I mean, where was the rest of the defence? And also, looking at that, right, looking at it back, what it seemed to happen was everyone went forward because they thought Bruno Fernandes was going to play in a first-time cross. And he didn't. We digged around with it on the edge of the box and ultimately had a shit cross come in. And that's what you get. Why didn't we just whip it in first time? Where was the first time whip in? We had all of our defenders up. We may as well have gone for it. And if they counter-attack, yeah, obviously we'd be saying the same thing. But at least if we got a good ball into the box, we could have scored. And then obviously it changed the whole complexion of the game. Dazza, thanks for joining as well. Appreciate it. He says, I mentioned Visca last night about him being a decent player. Showed that tonight by getting a goal and assist. Yeah. As I said, you know what, Dazza, I have to, shout you out and almost apologise to you on behalf of everyone that was on the stream yesterday, because when you said, Istanbul were a good side, you got laughed out of town. But on the ball, they were very, very good. They were very, very good on the ball. 100%. Welcome Curry and welcome LSR Pruding Style. Thanks for joining. He says, how are you feeling for the Everton game now? I'm shitting myself, to be honest. I think we could get pammed. We could get absolutely pammed by Everton. James Rodriguez could be coming back in as well. Obviously, they're not going to have some players in there, but, mate, I think Everton are going to do us. They're going to clean us up. If we play like that, they're going to clean us up, I tell you. LSR says, lads, I think it's time to accept that Ollie needs to go. At the same time, we have to look at the Glazers, because this was going to happen all along when he wasn't back. I agree. Listen, I'm not 100% sure if I'm Ollie out just yet. I'm not 100%. I mean, I think he's on the ropes. As I said in the title, he's on the ropes. He's getting battered by Mike Tyson right now. He's riding those ropes. The towel's about to come in my opinion. But I think, again, you can't lose sight of the fact that the lack of backing in the summer, I mean, a lot of people will say, well, even though we didn't back him, we should have won the game. We should have at least beaten this side with the players we have, because we've still got quality players in that squad. And I agree with that. But the downturn in form and the shocking performances, I almost can't put a finger on it. But one of the major factors is definitely the lack of backing in the summer. Really, really did. PSG are winning 1-0 according to Tom. Movie/game reviews says Ollie isn't strong enough to find all the players that caused the poor performance. Well, I mean, I tell you what, Owen on yesterday said that Ollie was weak-minded. Who knows, man? That would obviously buy into his theory. How did Starr and Henderson go? To be fair, Henderson really didn't do that much for the goals. To be fair, Henderson couldn't do much for it. But it was a pretty poor debut really for Henderson in terms of his first game in the Champions League, losing 2-1 to Istanbul. But it's the third time we've gone to Turkey and we haven't been able to win. 3 times. And their second goal, I mean, Juan Mata, I'm going to say this actually. Bruno Fernandes, I have to point him and say it was a really poor performance from him today. A really out of character performance from Bruno Fernandes. And actually, recently, he hasn't really done much. Bruno Fernandes recently hasn't been it, Chief. He hasn't been it. Bruno Fernandes has not performed recently. I can't remember the last game he actually had a good performance. Maybe it was the PSG game. Literally, he hasn't done anything in the last few games, really. Prakash comes in with a Fernandes. I knew that was coming, Prakash. I knew that was coming. But thanks for joining, Prakash. Really appreciate it anyway. But yeah, listen, Bruno Fernandes, for me, is... It's an enigma for me, because he was playing so well last season, and even the start... I mean, how he was playing in the run-in towards the end of the season last season was one of the best runs of performances I've seen from a United player in a while. And now we're seeing what we're seeing from Fernandes now. It's hard to take. It really, really is hard to take. By the way, I'm not sure I'm going to have people on. I'm not sure if this is going to go on for that long, to be honest. As I said, I can't really be asked. Actually, you know what? I'll change. I'll have people on for a little bit. I will have people on for a little bit. But yeah, just for a little bit, I think I'll have people on. I'm not going to have people on for that long this time, because obviously, who wants to sit there and talk loads and loads about a defeat? So I'll probably just, if you come on, then, you probably just, as I said, I'm not going to be live for too much longer, so I'll let people come on if they want to. But ultimately, we're probably not going to be on for that long. Well, Red Show, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. He says, Kieran, what just happened? Freaking Tom Voodoo jinxed us. Tell you what, mate. Tom, listen. If you're watching, Tom, I know you're watching, Tom. Yeah. It didn't go to plan. Did not go to plan today. But we've got two guys in the live, in the stream already. One of them is Rakani there, obviously you can see. And make sure you check out his channel, by the way. I was on there once before. It's fantastic, brilliant community over there. Make sure you do check out. Do you want to shout out your channel to the people?
Hello, Red Devil Weekly. And Johnson, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, thank you.
All right.
As alright as everyone can be after that performance, really. But yeah, it's great to have everyone on. As I said, I'm not sure how long it's going to be tonight. I'm not sure how long we're going to be on, especially after a performance like that. But yeah, Football Crew Show, thanks for joining as well. Appreciate it. He says, if United don't win against Everton on the weekend, it's farewell to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Well, I think a lot of people are thinking that. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people are thinking that.
He's not.
Yeah, I think it's getting, as I said, for me, Ollie is definitely on the ropes. But Rakani at United Social Television, make sure you check out United Social Television, as well as Daz's Football Stand if you haven't already. What went wrong today, mate? What went wrong in your opinion?
I think the team let down Ollie. That's what I'm saying. Because most people really have come out and criticized the tactics of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But for my case, I think today he brought a team that was good. Most of the fans of Manchester United had called for Henderson to be in goal. They called for Tuanzebe to start. They always say that Tuanzebe and Harry Maguire should be the best partnership or the best defense partnership of Manchester United. Ole went for them and he played Bruno Fernandes and Danny Van Beek for the first time in the starting 11 of Manchester United. But guess what? We lost this game because of two mistakes. And when you look at Istanbul, the way they played, it's not like it was a team that threatened us a lot. But the mistake of Nemanja Matic, because we all know that the Manchester United defenders always go when there is a corner. Close to three of them go and score because they are good in the area, in the air. That is Harry Maguire, Tuanzebe, and Luke Shaw. They all go that side. And when they go, they really bring on presence into the defense. Now, I saw that goal. I reviewed it a lot, but we lost possession, and Nemanja Matic couldn't look behind to see which player was behind him. So Dembaba raises up his hand. He tells them, "Give me the ball." After giving me they do a long ball to him. Nemanja Matic, slow as he is, he continues to go with his frog speed. He couldn't mind what was behind him. Dembaba had seen that goal. The second goal, it's one matter. Loses possession, doesn't even chase. Then the ball is brought into the box. It finds Harry Maguire and Tuanzebe not in the best position, and we concede the second one. You get? And ever since then, they never threatened us a lot. But they got two chances, they utilized them. Now, this is when you go and ask yourself, why should the manager be sacked when the players are to be blamed? Because
in response to that, what the manager did was take someone who's actually creating our chances in Van der Beek off the field, brought on Boff Tuanzebe, who I bet didn't have the greatest of games, but still had a lot more pace than Matic or Maguire. Left those players on and brought Scott McTominay on. That's why he's getting sacked. Because quite frankly, I
was Red Devil Studio. That was the other side of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I was bringing the other side. That was Now I had another side that I watched this game. There is an angle I watched this game into. So the other side is this game has proved to us that Manchester United doesn't have enough tactics, or the manager doesn't have enough tactics to break down teams when they sit back. Yes, against Arsenal, the same thing happened. Against Istanbul, it has happened. And what is worrying is we won the best two teams in the group, and we've lost to the worst team in the group.
Yeah.
You get? This time round, I've always defended Ollie, but I've also let him to the fans to eat him because I have nothing to do for him. Because each and everything is seen. How can we have only one shot on target into the second half, yet we need a goal? You have Edson Cavani, you have Anton Martial, you have Bruno Fernandes on the pitch, you have Marcus Rashford, and you only have one shot on target, and it's a free kick, and the other one was just swept off the line. So I think the manager really, this time round, I think Ole is really the problem. I don't know whether he's going to make a turnaround, guys. And according to this game of Istanbul, he has really exposed himself as he is ill of tactics. His tactics are ill.
For me, that's the hardest thing. Yeah, go on then quickly. Yeah.
You know, Ollie, he is probably going to get sacked. I think it's pretty much inevitable.
Yeah.
But all I'm going to say is that they're going to be really unpopular. I don't think any manager can last 3 years. Because if you think about it, this is like daily. A manager comes in, does well at the start. The board say they're going to back him, don't back him. Poor results, sacked. And, you know, that clown Sifo Nalot's probably going to have a field day in the comments saying, hey, Arsenal are the best team. We lost to Istanbul basaksehir. We didn't lose to Bayern Munich. If that, we probably would have. We lost to Istanbul basaksehir, who didn't even score a goal up until we played them. Harry Maguire, I'm sorry. What is that defending?
Thank you.
My cat can defend better than that.
Thank you. You mean to tell me we let Chris Smalling go? Did Chris Smalling make those defensive mistakes to hammer like £80 million? Guy, it's getting to the point where I'm like, actually, we shouldn't let Phil Jones go. That's actually how bad it is now. Where I'm like, actually, how bad was Phil Jones really? Is there? Guys, do you guys think that there's a massive difference between Harry Maguire and Phil Jones?
Yeah, not £80 million difference. One's taller, yeah.
The other. Well, that's Jones is just as useful. Just about as good.
Yeah. I think.
I just don't know what to think, to be honest. I would rather see Chris Smalling come back. I think he'd do a better job than Harry Maguire.
Well, yeah. I think
right now, 100%.
The kind of the hardest thing for me to take really is the fact that like it's like the hope that kills you. Like obviously we almost I felt like after we
lose.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I said we're going to lose to a load of Turkish nobodies. Premier League rejects. Premier League,
who
Premier
said
League
that I wouldn't be surprised if we lose?
Yeah, you did that, to be fair. I'll give you that.
I said Demba Ba
because is bullying basically our centre backs. How is that even possible? Like
35 years old, man.
Istanbul's tactic was the whole game and for me, this is why I think Ollie unfortunately has to go because
it should be sacked tonight. It should be sacked tonight.
Yeah, it's a trend. Istanbul only had one tactic: defend deep, lob the ball up. That was it. There was no tactic. When we talk about tactics, Istanbul had. There was just one tactic. It was just lob the ball up to Demba Ba bully. That was it. It wasn't like some masterclass thing.
I get your point. But there is one thing. I've held a big blame to Ole, but allow me also criticize the Manchester United players.
Yeah, no, I agree. Go on.
We conceded the goal in at 13th minute of the first half. Do you know that we got our first shot on target after 30 minutes, close to the end of the first half, and that was a goal. And that came as a loose defending because there were very many defenders of Istanbul into the 6 of the 18 yards box, but they failed to win a header on Martial. Martial headed it, and Martial is not that player that you credit of being a very good header of the ball. You get? They went back into the second, they went back into halftime. They knew their mistakes. After knowing their mistakes, they come back and they say, let's sit back. And because we are in the lead, we can defend this team. Because United had played the first half and it got only one shot on target. So I think these players also, I don't know why they are not reactive. You get? Bring on a player like Pogba. For me as myself, I hate Pogba because he has been at Manchester United for close to 5 seasons. He has not delivered for those seasons. I don't know what season.
Yeah, but to be honest,
£9 for nothing.
but to be honest, most of those players, sorry, Tom, most of those players have. Like, I actually agree with you. I think that, yes, Ollie has to go, but I also think that, like, I actually think that we actually overhype our team. Like, all of our players, like unlucky to Dean Henderson, to be fair. I don't think he could do anything about those 2 goals. So I won't really slate on him. And I think that Van der Beek had a good game. But let's be real here. Wan-Bissaka, love him defensively, but he's bad going forward. And if he's bad defensively, what does he contribute? Luke Shaw, maybe a little better attacking defensively than Wan-Bissaka, but he still doesn't cost as much, and his delivery is still not great. Our centre backs pairing are useless. So that's most of the back 5 gone. Matic is okay, but like if he doesn't have pace, he's gone. And to be honest, Martial's okay, Rashford okay, but how many goals a season do these guys really score to put them in the actual top quality strikers?
Yeah, he's got,
already said. So what I'm trying to say is that like Ollie will go, but we also should be realistic as Manchester United fans that like our players, most of these players I've listed have been at the club under 2 or 3 different managers, and they haven't delivered under any of the managers. So if everyone's saying Pochettino's going to come in and change things, why would Pochettino now make Martial or even Rashford better when they weren't better under 3 other successive managers?
Because he's worked with young players. He's worked with young players at such as Spurs. He took Harry Kane from a nobody to being one of the best strikers in the world. He took Dele Alli from being a nobody in League One to being a proper English international at a regular point. And he's improved players massively there. And you've got to think, Spurs have got a lot less money than what Man United have. Whether Man United want to spend it or not, that's the other reason. Pochettino with money is scary. That's all I'm going to say. Pochettino with money is scary. If you give this guy money to buy proper players, not players for £10 million from League One or something, buy proper world-class players out there, this manager can do something. 100%. 100%.
I doubt. I doubt. Let me intervene there. I think the problem of Manchester United, ever since Alex Ferguson left, is we don't have a direction where we're heading to. That's the problem you're having. Now, most teams that have enjoyed success all over for 10, you see, that era of Alex Ferguson, the reason as to why we enjoyed that success year in, year out was the manager had his own book that he had drawn and he knew how he could turn around things. So he brought in a player each and every season when he know that this player is the player I need because I'm playing such and such a type of system of football. Now, look at the board of Manchester United. They bring in who? David Moyes. After Ferguson getting out of the job, they bring in David Moyes. His type of football is not in line with what United was playing. After sacking David Moyes, they bring in Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal was a coach who really wanted to see a team putting up a couple of passes together. His game is possession-minded. You get? After you sack Louis van Gaal, you bring in Jose Mourinho. Mourinho is this kind of manager who just gathers players together. It's like he's an army and he puts up his soldiers together to go and fight for the manager. If at all they played well or poorly, to secure a win or win trophies for him, he failed.
But the only thing I'll say is that if we're real, like in fairness to David Moyes, he was not handed a squad. Yes, I know we won the title, but let's be real. If we look at the last couple of seasons, that was the squad that was coming at the end of its era. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't a squad that we didn't hand over Moyes or even Van Gaal, any of these managers. They didn't actually inherit. Like, let's say if the Klopp leaves or Pep Guardiola leaves at the end of the season, the manager coming in is going to inherit a solid squad to build on. None of these coaches that came in were handed over a squad that was going to say, right, this is a squad that's got a good foundation that could potentially challenge the next 5 years. It was basically, this is going to be a real building project. And so every successive manager that's come in was basically had to try and rebuild this Manchester United squad. So we've had, as you said, rightfully, managers with different philosophies. And so effectively, we've been trying to rebuild 3 different times on a different philosophy. So it hasn't worked. And it hasn't worked fundamentally because the transition was with a team that wasn't good, that was aging and it wasn't good enough. Like Phil Jones was our starting centre back. Look what happened there. You know? So yeah, so but go on.
Ollie's got to go after tonight. Let's cut with the shit. To be honest with you,
You reckon
Ollie's
tonight? You reckon
tonight? He's got to go tonight.
Would you not give him the Everton game? Would you not give him
Everton game? I wouldn't even give him the plane journey home to try and talk his way out of there.
Wow.
He's gone now. No, seriously.
Well, to be honest,
I said before the game.
To be honest.
No, I said before the game.
It would make more sense.
Lose to this team.
The Everton game, we got the international break, mate.
No, but I don't really care. I think Michael Carrick could do a better thing with this team, to be honest with you.
Oh, the ex-player again. Don't play up the ex-player again.
If Ollie was not the ex-player, if Ollie was not an ex-player at this club, he would already be gone. You don't make the start to the season that you do. You don't lose to Tottenham 6-1 at Old Trafford. You don't even win a game at Old Trafford all year in the league, and play so poorly against rubbish teams in Europe. And it happened at the back end of the Europa League as well. He gets to 3 Champions League. He gets to 3 semi-finals, and we don't get any further. And all he does is qualify for the top 4 where there was no competition anyway. Oh, there was. Yeah, from Leicester City. Leicester City compared to Man United. Come on. Let's be honest. We should be blowing these teams out.
Leicester City are better than Manchester United. That's
at current time, yes.
Yeah, we should
because
be.
They have a better manager. They don't have better players.
And more not better players on paper, but more consistent players. 100%.
That is the key thing. This is the key thing. It's not so much that the players that a lot of United have. Yes, we know that they're more talented players. But the issue with a lot of these Manchester United players, what I completely agree with Tom, is that they lack consistency. And I said a lot of these players have played under 3 managers right now. So yes, I think a new manager may get better on, and they might. First season, 2 seasons, but like we do. Oh yes, they've nominated better, etc. But a lot of these players have shown over the last 5 years that they're not good enough because they're not consistent. You know, like you Van Dijk. Okay, yes, he's conceded 7 goals against Villa, but no one's going to start saying Van Dijk is the worst centre back in the world because they conceded 7 to Villa because he's been consistent over such a long period of time. Even though Harry Maguire and Lindelof have not conceded 7 goals, we're not going to put them on the same level because they've shown too much inconsistency. And that, for me, is the thing with these players. My fear is that you just repeat the same thing. And while I want Ollie out, I also
throwing him under the bus.
We need to realise that. I agree, but we also need to realise that our players consistently are not good enough. That's just the thing for me.
Yeah, but we've even brought players in there. We brought players in like Maguire and everything for the money that we have. That's an Ollie signing. That is an Ollie signing. Exactly the same with such as Wan-Bissaka and Fernandes. Fernandes has been poor for the last couple of games. Let's be honest, absolutely poor. He'll play the risk pass where you've got to play a risky pass to try and get in behind. But he loses the ball far too much, and we don't have a player who can recover the ball in the modern game. We don't have a modern day player who does that. Fred! Don't start. Again about Fred. Seriously.
I'm
Fred, inconsistent. 50 million pound inconsistent.
We played what I would.
Still better than McTominay.
Yeah, come on, exactly.
Yeah, he's the best that we've got, but he's not good enough.
A coat rack's better than McTominay, to be fair.
You're telling me Fred is a CDM that's going to win the Premier League title?
Not as a central defensive midfielder, but let's be real, guys. He's the most consistent midfielder that we have. If he's the most consistent midfielder that we have, you play that midfielder.
Well, why are you playing Van der Beek then? Whenever he's played the game, he's actually played consistent. He's actually played decent, even when he's come off the bench for 10 minutes. So why are you playing him? Even Mata, when we played Mata in current games, is even better than what we've been doing.
But a moment. I think there is something that is happening in Manchester United that we don't know. The players that only know. Because bring on, like today, you have one man on the pitch, you have Danny Van Beek, you have Bruno Fernandes. 3 players, very good on the ball. They can do the possessive football. They failed to break down a team known as Istanbul into the first half. You get? The manager brought on the best players, and the players failed to deliver. Even though Ole, we are agreeing that he's supposed to be sacked out of Manchester United.
He should be gone tonight. Leave him in Turkey.
Even if he would have gone 2 weeks ago or a month back, the problem is these players have been here. They've been brought on the field. The players we've been urging for Ole to bring on the field. The diamond that we all thought that would work best for Manchester United was put on the field today, and it betrayed us. The same applies to Arsenal. The same diamond was put on the field, it betrayed us. You get? And the only person that is improving I've seen in the past 2 games is Luke Shaw, because it looks like he has improved a lot on his final ball. You get?
Rashford as well, I would say Rashford. Yeah,
yes.
Rashford's been quite decent.
Has he? Rashford.
You're telling come on, G.
Arsenal and Istanbul, Rashford has been inconsistent.
Rashford has been feeding off of scraps. Let's be honest. Come on. What has he actually had to do?
Yeah, but
tell me Leipzig and PSG is not good performances.
There were good performances, but the thing is, like, this is what I saw, for example, on BP, Torch goal delaying the reason 2-0 to PSG, by the way. Good.
Oh, no.
No, it's offside. Okay, that doesn't count. Is it offside?
It looks offside.
Yeah, it's offside. Yeah. I saw the info on BT Sport. Torch was literally saying, we weren't good enough. We lost the game because of Martial and Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
Like, Gold, you were the best player from one of the best players in Manchester United. You're a legend. But are you actually telling me that we lost that game because of someone who actually tried to get us in the game? Because he is well. Martial is our number 9, and he as well has been feeding off scrap. But anytime Martial plays badly, it's because he's not good enough. If Rashford plays badly, it's because he's not being supported. And Paul Pogba, I think was garbage. But where was the criticism of Scott McTominay? Nothing. So this English, not that Tom is, but this English bias that we see in this team, where they don't get criticised by Ollie, they don't get criticised in the press, and you have all these foreign players that end up taking a hit. I don't think it's fair, because quite frankly, I don't even know, aside from Rashford, when he's on his ball, any of our English players that are world class at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Proven point. Maguire.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in Shaw.
Sorry, I'm going to.
Maguire is nowhere near world class. Exactly the same with Luke Shaw. Like Jesus said, the only player you can honestly say is Rashford. That is it. Even if you go look at most of the team, you could only probably say we've got 2 or 3 world class players. That's it. And if you take this team now,
what of Anton Martial?
Back 20 years, it's completely different. You put Martial as world class.
Martial is in this caliber. The problem is facing at Manchester United is he's lacking players that can play with him very well. Because when you look at the football intelligence of Anton Martial, he's way far from the other players that he plays with. You can bring in Bruno. I think Bruno can try to play with Anton Martial. Paul Pogba has failed to play at Manchester United. I don't see a reason why Paul Pogba is still a Manchester United player. I think Ole should take him to Real Madrid. They get us like Valverde and Varane, all Isco, all Marc Asensio, one of those. Put Pogba to Madrid, get us 2 more players that can really come and deliver to Manchester United, because he has failed to deliver. So I think we have players that have
to buy him. To be honest, he's not even doing anything. He's not achieved much.
Unpopular opinion: we should not have sold Lukaku. And I know people are going to grab me and go,
Lukaku.
but the thing is, the thing about Lukaku that people seem to forget about is that because a lot of criticism for people Lukaku was, oh, he doesn't turn up against the big teams. But people forget the reason why Lukaku scored a lot of goals against these small type teams is because he bullied these defenders. He was attacking. Lukaku essentially would have done what Demba Ba did to our defenders today. Get the ball up to him in the box, he bullies the defenders around and he scores. And to be honest, since we let Lukaku go, we have actually struggled against a lot of these teams because Martial, Rashford, a lot of these. Yes, Leipzig, man! Brilliant goal! 1-1. Take that. Wait, sorry.
No, appreciate the radio commentary. Keeping us up to date. That's good. We always like that.
Come on, Leipzig. Like if Leipzig winning today, at least might make this day better. Not because but just because I can't stand PSG. It's better. But to finish my point, like Lukaku got a lot of criticism because he didn't score against City, but we ignored his goals against Southampton. We ignored his goals against Palace. We ignored his goals against these teams that play local teams because he was a bully in the box effectively, and we don't have a forward player that caliber that can do that, So in a game like this, that's where you need, to be honest. And maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe Garlo should have played because you need someone who can bully defenders. If you're going to play a team with low block, you need someone to put pressure on those defenders. It's no good just passing the ball around, silky smooth, like trying to 1-2 touch, etc. With 11 men behind him, it's not going to work. So.
But the thing is, if you don't sell Lukaku, then you don't buy Fernandes. That's the major pinpoint there. If you don't sell Lukaku, would you sooner have Lukaku or Fernandes?
Yeah, but I mean, we should Manchester United. We should have enough money to even to have both.
Exactly, but we don't spend it. This is the problem.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but all goes back to the board, guys. We are blaming Ole. We are blaming the players. But has the manager been backed as supposed to be backed? That's the big question.
Gotta say no, really.
Right, because he has been. I'll say that he has been back partly. When you look at how long he's actually been in charge and the money that he's spent £80 million on Maguire. He spent 15 on James. He spent 50 on Wan-Bissaka. Then he spent the money on Fernandes in January. Then you counteract what he spent on the loan to get Igalo, and then he's had to extend that. So then that adds up to another loan. Then he's brought in Cavani and paid £10 million to his agent fees. And how much money you've got to pay him?
He's not the one who brought in Cavani. It's the board that brought in Cavani.
Yeah, the board brought in Cavani, but ultimately, the man who's got to coach him is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The manager doesn't always have a say in what a club wants to do. It's like Ole won't have a say if the guys just wanted to sell tomorrow or wanted to emigrate to China. He wouldn't have a say in it at all. So this is what I say. It's the problem because if we don't improve, like you say, it's easier to get rid of a manager than it is to get rid of a dressing room full of players or get rid of a board or an owner. It's easier to do that. It's happened at Barcelona. Their best player wanted to leave, Lionel Messi, and it completely changed everything. Got rid of the president, got rid of the board, knew everything. That is what we need to do. Why? I don't understand why we can't do that. Why we can't go out there and get a new CEO or a new chair executive, I don't know.
Because unfortunately,
the democracy there, but it's as opposed to like a multi-billion owner sort of thing. So.
Yeah, and trying to find an owner at the current time is like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just losing money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Sean, I think I've been waiting for a while.
I'll bring in Sean. I'll bring in Sean at this point. Obviously, you heard what these guys have had to say. A lot of very strong opinions, as you'd expect. But what are your thoughts? Obviously, G was making the point about how we find it very difficult to break down low block teams. I remember in the preview, you made the very same point, really. Firstly, what were your thoughts on what these guys were saying and just the match in general? What went wrong for you today?
Just 1 second. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Well, hold on. I know you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I was pulled over so long my Bluetooth decided to connect, so I can't hear you very well. I'm sure it'll come back in a minute. But I just want to say, so everyone can hear me? Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so first off, hello. I had to pull my car over here from the land where we drive on the left side of our vehicle, not the right, where we're struggling with whether or not we're going to elect dumb or dumber. Two complete clowns trying to take over our country right now. No disrespect, but that's my libertarian point of view. But here's the thing, guys. I have been saying for a long time I'm Ollie indifferent. And I took a lot of heat about right after Ollie got the job because I felt like it was reactionary. And I felt like he got the job because he's a legend, obviously not because of his CV, because I know a lot of guys in MLS that got a better CV than he did in a better league. So I don't want to hear this Poch can't win anything stuff. It's a moot point in my opinion. At the end of the day, today the same problems we've had resurfaced. Any team that decides to not have a go at us, we cannot break them down.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about what. Now, listen, I have seen Ollie try to do some things tactically, so I'm not going to say, I know Tom loves to call him a PE teacher. Owen, I think, called him a substitute PE teacher. He's not even a full-time PE teacher.
He did.
But today was absolutely freestyle football. Offensively, Donny van de Beek starts on the right side of a diamond, which is actually his Ajax position. I was excited about that. Donny van de Beek, in my opinion, was the only person having a decent game, the best player on the pitch. Gets taken off. We need goals and stuff. Makes zero sense. Now, listen, I am not anti-Bruno. I like Bruno. But I must say, guys, I just got to put this out there. Bruno Fernandes had 17 turnovers in the first half. 17, right? He was not having a good game. We take off Donny. I don't even know what we're doing with our substitutions. I mean, it's crazy. Axel gets taken off for you got. Okay, I don't need to say what I feel about my guy Scott McTominay. You guys already know if you watch me or watch any of my streams that Scott McTominay. I know he has a lot of passion. We established last night. He's very passionate, so he'd probably be better as an adult film star as he is at Manchester United because he's passionate. We need more than passion. We need tech. We need skill. I mean, Lionel Messi runs all of about 0.3% of a game. It's not about passion a lot of times. You need those players that have tech, that have skills. And the fact is, if we're not breaking teams down, making system goals, which Ollie's been here 2.5 years, and I don't know what we're trying to do. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I got a lot of heat saying he wasn't the guy. I've always backed him because I'm not gonna be like Ollie out, get the bum out. At the end of the day, we know the problems at Manchester United are more about our board. We're sick of this hire, back a little bit to get us in Champions League, then we could kick on, don't back, sack that our team likes to do. We know that's not the right way, and I know we need patience. Ollie's had time and had patience, but we need a better manager, a better tactician, because obviously a coach like Ole needs backed full stop. He did not get back this summer full stop. We got signings, some of which made zero sense. We didn't get who we wanted. We didn't get what we needed. We got a 40 million pound right winger that's 18 years old that nobody knows about, who may or may not be decent. We don't know. When Thomas Partey was sitting there, and Thomas Partey spun us all last Sunday. We need a CDM. We didn't get one. And so I'm frustrated, man. I'm frustrated, and I'm about to just lose my mind and to pull my car over. I know between Tom and Red Devil Studio, I know that they're probably saying a lot of stuff that I'm saying, so it seems like I'm stealing their stuff. But the truth is, they live rent-free in my head anyway. And as an American, I'm just going to say that I come up with it first because that's what we do. We have to go where we walk around us. So anyway, guys, I hate to say it, but Ollie has to go. I mean, I am Ollie indifferent because I know he's not the big problem. But we've seen this over and over again, right? Now, I'm older now, and I'm not as essential and fine as I used to be, and I've been married a long time. But back in the day, I was known to have a girlfriend or two. Now, at the end of the day, if I look at baby girl and I'm like, baby girl, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I won't step out again. I won't cheat again. I won't. But I love you. I love you. And she says, okay, I'll take you back, right? And that's how I feel right now with Manchester United. I feel like they constantly are stepping out on me. They've shown me time and time and time again that they cannot break small teams down. They're not breaking these teams down. It's not going to change. And so why do we keep putting ourselves through this? At the end of the day, guys, I'm not going to be nasty and spiteful. Ollie's always going to be a legend, but the guy's just not it. And he's proved it. Today, I don't know what else to say. I've been trying to back him and support him. And you know, Kieran, you guys know I've tried to be like Team Ole, but honestly, probably should have never got the job. And now we're stuck in this mess. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, because I know people are going to be mad, say some of what I'm saying is bull crap. I talk with the wrong accent, so I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to jump out real quick and jump back in so I can hear what you guys are saying.
Right, no worries. Cheers. But yeah, Shawn as ever, insightful as ever. But yeah, I agree with all he said. Really.
A lot of people saying Poch, but to be honest, like, I mean, I don't know how easy it will be.
Poch win us the titles and stuff that we're wanting.
He won't.
He hasn't won a trophy. He didn't win a trophy at Spurs, right? But Spurs, realistically, I would say, are a much smaller club than United ever have been.
But also,
smaller than United, but
also, Dazza,
we have a club. Hang on a second, mate. We have a club who are expected to win trophies every single season.
Yeah.
And we haven't won a trophy since back in 2017 under Jose Mourinho. Ollie is not a man who's going to get you trophies. Now, I still think we'll keep him in for the Everton game, whether Tom likes it or not, because at the end of the day, he's not the frigging board. And I know a lot of people
don't tell Tom that.
He's practically a net, but at the end of the day, it's not just him who needs to take responsibility, it's the strikers, because our strikers just aren't clinical enough. We didn't score today because, one, we can't break them down, two, we're not clinical enough with chances.
To that, Daz, I would say that I do think obviously like the whole team have to take blame, but I'd say with the strikers thing, obviously as I said, like they have to take a portion of the blame, but then in some ways I would say that like they have to take some responsibility, but then at the same time, if they don't get the service, it's hard for them to put the ball in the back of the net. Like obviously you can be obviously, and that's what G was saying about Lukaku. You know, he was the guy who was able to like receive the ball in difficult situations and bully those defenders and
can I respond to that?
And create chances. Yeah, go on.
Lukaku. Can I respond to the Lukaku thing?
Yeah.
I want to say something about Lukaku. Okay. I agree about being a flat track bully, and we need a guy like that to break teams down now.
Yeah.
However, G, remember this.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to agree with this. Ollie sold us a dream. When Ollie came in, he was playing 4-3-3. Full free-flowing attacking football. He even moved Lukaku out on the wing. Lukaku's out there like, what in the world is going on out here? What in the name of Manchester is happening? And so Lukaku wasn't utilized correctly when Ollie came in because Ollie was already obsessed with Tony and with Marcus, right? And I believe he has improved them a little bit, and so I give him credit there. However, Lukaku wasn't having it. So I think Lukaku didn't want to stay, and out of respect, I think that's why he left. But here's the thing. Ollie tricked us. The Lukaku he got rid of didn't fit the system that he had when he took over. Well, it wasn't me. I wasn't singing Ollie's at the wheel, maybe once or twice, but you guys were singing it, right? So everyone's singing Ollie's at the wheel. We're all excited because we're playing this high press, high action. Just let the guys play, and we are getting results. Well, as soon as Ollie got the job, we went 4-2-3-1 turtle business. So we went into this shell defensive mindset where we need that strong number 9 that can hold the ball up or bully the smaller teams. And I just think that honestly, Ole, I think he's a great guy. I wanted to win a lot with him. I mean, we win the Champions League with him. It's shirts off time. I'm talking overweight shirts off. Just get it in. I get it. But at the end of the day, he's shown us again and again and again that we can't break down these small sides. And what happens is we paper the cracks against the big clubs because people don't want to hear this. But when we play big clubs, we play like a small club. So when we play them, we sit back, let them come on to us, and we hit them on the break with pace out into the channels, right? Because we got fast players. And so people are like, oh, Ollie did Pep. Ollie did Nagelsmann. Ollie did Poch. Yeah, well, Sean Dyche did us, okay? At the end of the day, It's about styles make fights, and it seems like if someone, I don't know why any team in the world would attack us. If I'm any board in the world and your team comes and attacks us and loses, I fire the manager. Like, do you not watch games? If you sit back, give this team the ball, they're clueless. So I blame the manager and also the players, because I think that we have overrated some of our players.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Sean.
Well, see, I wasn't in here for you to be.
Oh yeah,
I missed that.
You missed that. Before I actually went. That's actually where I ended up talking about Lukaku, because I was saying that, like, at the time there were a lot of our fan base that was like, "Oh, Lukaku, Timberland, etc., gone, brought Fellaini, etc." And yes, we've now got Pogba, we've got Rashford, we've got all these players that are high quality. Ollie will take us through. And while I completely agree with everyone that Ollie is not the right man, what I was saying is that, like, a lot of these players have played under 3 different managers already. Like, we can excuse Ollie and say, okay, Ollie doesn't have the tactics, he's not experienced, etc. But I'm sorry, but Mourinho, Van Gaal are Champions League winning managers, title winning managers. They're experienced coaches. You look what even Mourinho's doing with Spurs right now, however long that might last. To me, he's actually improved Harry Kane over Pochettino. Kane looks
Holy. Ooh.
No way.
All right, guys. Anyway, it was great to see you guys again. Just, have an amazing
I had to bring
day.
that up. I had to bring that call up.
America may not be burning by the weekend, depending on who's wins. It depends on who's
Why don't
some
we
sides
get
are
good
salty.
Sean, before you go.
No,
Sean,
I can't
can I
respond.
ask you a quick question, Sean, before you go? Pep Guardiola is in his final season of Manchester City and has not signed a new contract. He's not. And the City board have not actually asked to extend his contract. Would you guys throw money and go for Pep Guardiola? This is his final year. We could get him. Start talking in January, possibly for the end of the season. Throw money, make him the most expensive coach in the world. Would you get Pep in? Because we could, potentially.
Yeah. Obviously he's out of contract,
contract,
but it's like, yeah. Well, that's the thing. He always needs money.
I can't have City sloppy seconds, man. I don't. Pep. It's crazy. I feel like Pep.
We can't say we want Poch over Pep Guardiola, though.
That is true.
Well, no. I agree with that. Let me say this, though. In all fairness, all due respect, I was Poch when we had Jose because a lot of my friends live in North London. Okay, so I hear a lot of crap either from Arsenal fans or Spurs fans. I'm constantly, man. After that 6-1, I can't tell you how many calls I got. Bruv. No, don't bruv me. Ain't no bruv. And we ain't talking, you know what I'm saying? I'm hanging up on people. You know what I mean? The WhatsApp, what's not? That's what's happening. What's not? We ain't talking. Because I was getting Spurs fans. So I've watched a lot of Spurs because of my friends, and I felt like Poch's evolution, the next step was a team like United. I felt it was a perfect marriage. I don't know about now. Obviously, Pep is a better manager. But the thing about Pep is I feel like if he don't get the money, he doesn't really. Our board is too cheap, right? They spend, but then they don't spend well. I think if we had a DOF and Pep, money. I think that even Poch is going to struggle. But the thing is, Poch is a Glazer's love child because he gets Champions League with no money. He went 3 straight windows with nothing. So I think that ultimately, we know our filthy, dirty American Yank owners how they view us. We're a business. You know, it is what it is. Again, I would be a fool to say that Pep is not better than Poch because obviously he is. His CV proves it. However, I don't know. I want this. Call me a romantic, but a part of me is like I want a manager who, like Poch, who hasn't won yet. And all these people are like, "Oh, this guy can't do it." I want him to come in and shut people up and like start winning with us. I was hoping it would be Ole, but obviously it's not because of the way he coaches. But to answer your question, I know I've hemmy-hawed around about it, and I'm leaving some of you, in Tom's words, gobsmacked. But at the end of the day, yes, I would take Pep, but I would feel dirty. You know what I mean? Like a dirty. I don't know though. If we won a lot, I would like it.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're winning, it doesn't matter.
To be honest with you, I've only been following United since the mid-'90s, so I never considered City that big of a threat or rival. Like I hate to say it, I don't hate them. I just think that they're because I mean they used to have Claudio Reyna, and as an American, he was one of my favorite players. So I used to watch them some. I thought they were irrelevant until the money came in. However, there are teams like Liverpool. I mean, there's venom here.
Yeah,
Arsenal, I hate them. Leeds, I could have dealt with them never being in the league ever again. So City's about number 4 on my hatred list. I think it got worse because of Tevez, because that traitorous prick. So besides that, so yeah, I think I'm gonna say no. I don't want Pep. I'll change my mind. He's a City. Change my mind. But yeah, I would take it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is that obviously it's one of those things. Obviously, if Pep Guardiola turned around and said to the Glazers or said to us, "I'll join you for this," if he turned around and said, "I will join you," and I feel like a lot of people would probably take that right now, especially after today's result. But yeah, it is one of those things. Obviously, he has played for Man. Yeah,
they probably told Jose they were going to do all this stuff too. I just think they lied. Do
you think Pep Guardiola would do better with this team than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing right now?
What?
Yeah.
Does a more obese Shawn like cake?
Maybe that was a bit of a stupid question, but ultimately,
I didn't hear. Is Dazzer like for Ollie or against him? I don't want to make him mad at me, man.
Go on, Daz.
I wouldn't say I'm against him as such, but I do have to admit the substitutions today really annoyed me. You're losing, and you bring off Van Dijk, who I would say unarguably was the best player on the pitch for us. If I was going to give man the match, the only person I'd give man the match was Billy Edin Visca. He was the only good player really on the pitch for most of it. These substitutions are very questionable, and his lineups are questionable. He needs to get his head in the game, otherwise he will be out. But I still think Ollie will survive. And I don't, I like Ollie. He's one of my favourite all-time Manchester United players. I think same with a lot of people, but he's not good enough as a manager.
But you think he will survive? You think he will get more time from the Glazers? Do you think he'll survive past Christmas and he'll get the January transfer window?
I think he'll survive. He will survive till at least Christmas, hopefully. I don't think he'll make the January. I don't think he'll make the transfer window. I think he'll survive until Christmas time. But
if he loses against Everton, I don't know.
The board are only concerned about like getting Champions League top 4.
If he loses to Everton, then he'll be out.
Yeah. If we got to remember that Jose Mourinho got sacked when we were like 12 or 13 off 4th, I think. So long as he's like within touching distance of top 4, I think he'll still be in with a job. Like even though we lost against Arsenal, with our game in hand, if we were to win against Burnley, we'd still only be 3 points from top 4, which sounds crazy, but that's the nature of the league right now. If we win against Everton the weekend and City lose to Liverpool, we only be a point behind Liverpool. So I just think that he's not going to get sacked until it's feasibly impossible or very difficult for us to actually qualify for the Champions League or the top 4. To be real, as much as I hate this Champions League result, like we were never going to win the Champions League. We're never going to win the Champions League, so we're not going to.
We were a week ago.
Not after, like we were, and then I watched Liverpool against Atlanta yesterday, and it was like, yeah, it's we need to stop Liverpool from winning a treble somehow, because Jota was. If Liverpool win a treble this season,
I would sack him immediately.
Yeah,
I don't care if he's in second.
Yeah,
if they win again, and we are in. And we lose to them both times, and they win the league, I would sack him, because I'm sorry, Sir Alex. I don't care if you don't park in his spot. Manchester United managers have to realize how much we hate that team down the road. That every single time they get a chance, they chant Munich. Okay, I take that personal because I was born on February 6th, so I was destined to be a Manchester United fan. I'm gonna tell you this: I get annoyed. this team, this Liverpool, the Ben Dippers should not be winning leagues consistently on our watch. Now, if we slap them twice and we do our part, I get it, okay? But listen, guys, do you think that I just don't see this manager doing it? And it's not hate. That's why I love what Gazzer said. I mean, and I've heard G say before, the thing I love even about this channel, I'll tell you who else is very, very usually really good about this is Usman, is that we can talk about things we dislike and it doesn't turn it. It doesn't. I'm sorry. I have a. Is Selena in there? I'm sorry. I just saw a car rolling up on me like, yo, I will jump out and slap the Jesus out of you. I mean, because I shouldn't be able. If you got Jesus in there, I shouldn't be able to slap him out, right?
So, the guy in the chat who's called Hadik, who seems to be who's a very strong Ollie inner, and who's saying, you know, more practice these days and stuff, and like I can
dislike him and not be a hater. That's
like
we're not haters. We're just saying what we see. I want the guy to win, but this guy can turn it around. What have you seen that proves that? It's not against him. I'm saying tactically. If Ollie came out tonight and said, you know what, I love my guys, I do, but we need something different. And he removed all three of his coaches. And was like, I'm hiring new coaches, right? Yeah. To give us the illusion that tactically he's the man manager, he needs better tacticians. I think I would say, okay, give him a moment.
Yeah, exactly. The frustrating thing, Hardik, is that, like, even if after the Arsenal game, like one of the things that almost set a bad omen for me going into this game was that I just briefly looked at the press conference and I saw Harry Maguire, I saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer together, and they were smiling, they were happy, etc. And I was like,
I don't want to hear that.
We've lost.
That didn't happen.
It happened. It happened.
That's tonight.
It happened. No. This was pre this game.
Oh yeah, I saw him on the plane taking pictures.
Yeah, just you know what, we need to improve, we need to be better, etc. And I was like, we lost to Arsenal at Old Trafford. We played poorly. How can you come in? Like I even respect him, because even as much as I didn't like Mourinho throwing players on the bus, I didn't like that. At least to be like, listen, we were crap. Like you saw this Instagram post against Spurs. Like that was unacceptable. Antwerp, what are you guys doing? You can't lose to Antwerp, some Belgian team from the street or whatever. You guys are going to be up at 11 a.m., you know, training, whatever. You could see at least, like, you know, the guy's angry. It's not acceptable. From that press conference, I was kind of like, okay, so what? You were happy with that Arsenal result? Are you going to like, at least tell me that it's not good enough and that something is going to be done.
Yeah.
Every time I see his reaction, it's just kind of like, wait, are you just happy that this is?
Antwerp worse.
Yeah.
Like, sorry? Man, if Rich is Ollie out, it's over.
Yeah, Rich. Well, yeah. We'll bring Rich. We'll bring Rich into the discussion. Why not?
I was going to comment on something G just said, and even the game we won, we played poorly. Against Brighton, we were really lucky to win. So even that game, we could have got smacked, and I think played the same against Spurs, and they did basically take every chance. So yeah, it's getting frustrating because every time we have a poor result, usually there's a response and we look quite good. This time we had a really poor result and we followed it up with another very poor performance. So the thing is that do you see signs we're getting better? Because we played pretty much our first team. We replaced it with our other players that are our first team players or our normal bench players. We didn't leave anybody out, and it was 2 shots on target.
That's the thing, really. That's the thing that worries me. It's what frustrates me as well is the fact that, like, I feel like over the last especially since the kind of restart period and even before that, I think there was a definite illusion of almost a lot. You know, there's a lot of progress going on, and I was thinking, even though we were picking up these poor performances and poor results, like, you know, losing to the semi-final against Chelsea in the FA Cup and these sort of things, you still thought we're going in the right direction. But now all of a sudden we've almost taken every week we take one step forward and two steps back, and it's like for me the frustrating thing is that the way the team was playing beforehand, like there was you kind of felt, even though we were picking up bad results here and there we were going in the right direction. But now it's like I don't see us going in any direction really. The only direction I can see is kind of going backwards in a way, especially with the fact that some of the players who are playing well for us, like Bruno Fernandes, are now turning out poor performances. So yeah, it's frustrating. Rich, what did you? Oh, sorry, carry on. Go on, Sean.
I'm saying he stays on while Donny Van de Beek comes off. It makes zero sense. No
one has an issue with, I don't have an issue with United losing. I wouldn't even have an issue with United losing to Istanbul today if it was like Istanbul played us. They were just, and we went through it, but they just thought we're the better team. I've got no problem with that. Or
Galatasaray we played today, right?
Right?
It was Galatasaray, right? Or Besiktas, or it wasn't even Galatasaray.
It wasn't even those guys.
Like 7th in the Turkish league.
I'm gonna have to go.
Istanbul basaksehir.
Cheers, Daz. Appreciate it.
All the best. Subscribe to Daz's channel, man.
Yeah, make sure to check out Daz's football stand if you haven't already. Great stuff over there. But yeah, carry on, boys.
Right now.
I don't want Arsenal fans bantering us though. Arsenal fans being like we're bantering you. Like, okay, guys, you haven't been in the CL for almost 5 years now, and you are basically in a situation that we were last season, where you're turning up against big teams, playing free at the back. That's cool. That's cool.
This guy, y'all listen to this guy. Watch my finger. Him.
But what do you do against small teams? You can't play free against the back against Burnley. That's why you lost against Leicester. That's why, despite the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was 15 points, 13 points off fourth, he still somehow managed to overturn that and come third, and Arsenal finished 8th. And Arteta was there. Arteta came in before that. So, no, I'm not going to hear the Arsenal bans or anything like that, guys.
Mr. Boba Django, thanks for joining me. I love the name as well. Appreciate it. He says, the day Ollie got Cardiff relegated and lost 3-0 to Newcastle, he blamed it on missed chances and fine margins. It does sound familiar, mate. It does sound familiar. I'm not going to lie with that. That is his kind of... That's the line, his go-to line, the fine margins. I think his biggest phrase is, that's football. It sometimes happens when you don't take the chances. Well, I'll tell you what, if Leipzig pull that off, it'd be a big victory for them. But the one thing I want to ask all of you, before the end, is after the Leipzig victory, I think everyone was very confident that we were going to go through by hook or by crook. We only really needed those 4 points, the magical 10-point mark, they always say, to qualify for the next round. 3 games left. How confident are you still that we are going to qualify? I'll start with you, Rich.
Well, I think before tonight, I was fairly confident we were going to win the group. Now I would say we should qualify. I think if it comes down to it, and based on points difference, it's head-to-head. So we've got that 5-0 win in the bag. So if it comes down to that, we should qualify. I can't see us. If we don't qualify, it's a disaster, isn't it? I saw this stat on earlier that no team has failed to qualify after winning the first 2 games from the group stage in the Champions League. And I was thinking, well, there's always a first, because they said that in the NBA when Cleveland were down 3-1. They said no team has ever come back from 3-1 down. Yeah, well, no team has so far, but we don't want to be the first, because that would be another stupid record we don't want to set. But I think we should qualify, but now it's looking like we'll just be happy with second.
They scored the penalty, by the way, so it's 2-1 to Leipzig in Germany. So obviously that puts United and Leipzig on the same number of points, but United will still be top of the table because in the Champions League, it's not goal difference, it's head-to-head.
Head-to-head, isn't it?
So we're on top based on head-to-head. So,
that could help us then. So that could be a positive if they win.
We obviously need to beat.
That's the positive of the day, isn't it? That's the positive we got. I mean, I was looking for it.
It's if we do beat Istanbul at home, we have to. We have to. We obviously play PSG next, and potentially, if PSG lose again to Leipzig away, then that win against Istanbul will be enough. We'll be through. If PSG lose back-to-back games, we'll be through. Even if we lose the remaining 2 games, but we just be like something. Am I making sense, or does that make sense?
Yeah. I think so. Hopefully.
So it's like I said, it's not that we were going to win the Champions League. I think a lot of us said, like, if we finished second in this group from the start, that'd actually been a good thing. So we actually overperformed in the Champions League. It's the Premier League consistently that we've crucially underperformed. And that's why even if we top this group, there's not enough that I've seen at Manchester United side of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that means he's got to stay, because it's the same issues and the same problems.
That is true, yeah. That's this is the thing, is that, like, obviously you want to be in the Champions League more than the Europa League, or even not at all. But at the same time, yeah, realistically, none of us came into this Champions League campaign thinking we're going to win it. And I mean, the only thing I would say is that we seem to do a lot better against, the bigger teams in Europe. For example, PSG, Leipzig, we actually did all right because we were able to sit back and counterattack. And I actually really would want to see us play against Bayern Munich. I'm really intrigued to see us play against them. Some people say I'm mad, say we get absolutely battered, but I actually think against Bayern Munich, the way they play and the fact that they would have so much confidence against us to pin us back, and we could play on the counter attack. And I wonder how that would play out. I really, really would. But I don't know.
I think we beat any team that has the ridiculously high line. We've got no problem. So I think we give the game to Bayern easy, because if you look at Bayern and look at some of these teams, like even PSG for that matter, so I'm looking at this PSG Leipzig game, like PSG's high line is ridiculous. So it counts to any team that gives us the high line, Rashford, Greenwood, etc., will run and be fine. So even against City, I wouldn't be surprised. Would you guys be surprised if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets results against Pep? I wouldn't be.
No.
He probably would. So because they'll give us that space, and his defense is also trash. So, but would you also be surprised if we lost to West Brom?
Nope.
No.
I'm surprised we beat teams like that. I mean, though, I think we'll get through. Personally, I'll say this: as much as I have backed Ole, I've been Ole indifferent for a while now, so it is what it is. But I know he's not the guy, especially to win stuff. But here's the controversial statement: I don't think for a second that we could not win the Champions League with him, because he can crap house his way the same way that Jose did with Inter. It depends on the draw. If you play ultra offensive teams in the Champions League, right? Say we were coming up against a team like Madrid, who they just come on to you, but their defense is suspect. Varane, I don't know what happened to him, but the guy's playing Rafael Varane right now stole the original Varane. And Sergio Ramos, he's down to miss a game or two from kicking someone. He'll probably be on a red card. So I don't fear any big European team that attacks. The problem is we get all the way to final and face Atleti, and we're done. Or Sevilla, or a team that doesn't come on to you. And when that happens, we're void of ideas. And here's the thing, guys. It's about the league right now for us. Yes, I want to win the Champions League, but I'm sick of Liverpool already. And I've watched them be terrible for the majority of the time that I've been watching this beautiful game. And I'm fine with that. I didn't need that to change. I don't like the fact that they seemingly have a plan, and they seemingly have a good manager, and they seemingly know what they're doing. I hate it. It makes me vomit a little bit inside every time I think about it. So Manchester United's manager should be tasked with knocking them off their perch, at least doing everything you can. So Ollie's the type of manager that has to be backed 100% to be successful, and he wasn't. Right? He isn't. He didn't get the players he was looking for. Why do you think? Okay, Ollie is petulant, and he's proved it. He proved it with Ander Herrera's treatment last year. How he treated him was petulant. All over the fact that he wasn't agreeing with the board. He put results on hold to keep Ander Herrera on the bench, acting like he was hurt when he wasn't. Come on, man. And he's doing the same thing to Donny van de Beek this year, because he's throwing his Norwegian toys out the prem because he didn't get Jack Grealish. He didn't get Jackie Grealish with his low socks and his fancy slick back hair, and Ollie's man crush was shattered. And because Ollie can't have his man crush of Jack Grealish, he don't want to play Donny van de Beek right because he's petulant like that. And that's one of the things going to cost him. This obsession with McTominay, Ollie's sacking himself. Like, all of us want the guy to win. We want him to be successful. It's not like we have an agenda against him. No. But we see what we see. The only people that can't see his flaws are people that are so passionate about the club and stuff that what's really happening isn't making sense. Well, anyway, guys, I got to go to work. It's great to see everyone. Thanks, Kieran.
No worries.
G,
my guy,
Rich, as always, my favorite non-Welshman. I'm not sure how that worked out. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great night. And just hopefully we figure out whether Dumb or Dumber gets elected soon. After that, we'll figure Ollie out, and the world will be. Peace out, guys.
Man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Make sure you check out Worldwide Red Show if you haven't already, guys, as well. But yeah, we'll probably round it off anyway pretty soon. Yeah. I think it's. I mean, to be fair, in terms of streams, it's been really enjoyable considering we lost the game. I wasn't expecting to enjoy streaming that much after losing, but
I think sometimes you need to just get some of the stuff off your chest. Anytime, like it's a lot better when you can vent and rant it out than like sleeping on it and then waking up the next day just being, oh, for goodness sake, I'm being bantered by people like Arsenal fans, by Chelsea fans, by all these. At least with this result now, with PSG potentially losing, it could be like, well,
yeah, exactly. Silver lining almost, a little light at the end of the tunnel. I was going to say, obviously, you mentioned Arsenal fans bantering. I can see Sifo in the comments. I'm choosing not to read those comments out. We don't need the banter right now. I'm just going to ignore it, you know. But
the club is no longer relevant, Red Devil, man. Like this is Arsenal fans. Like their World Cup is when they beat us.
100%.
They're not going to get top four. They're not going to compete in the league. So what is it that they're actually bantering about? Like they're essentially the new Everton. They're the new Everton. Occasionally wins the trophy, but like it's no longer a relevant club at the highest level. You know. So yeah, don't entertain it now. Come on.
And they've got Arteta as manager as well, so he might just be the new Everton. Finally. Mr. Boba Django actually kind of disagrees with what Sean was saying. He's saying that big European teams won't fall for the same Ollie tactics, basically. Obviously, Lampard and Arteta figured that out after the PSG win, which I would go with because obviously for this whole time I've been thinking, how have teams not seen the way that they stop us? It's just literally playing a low block and defending well. Like, I remember towards the end of last season, we did seem to get found out. You know, Southampton and West Ham both came to Old Trafford and got draws and, you know, did what they had to do, and we couldn't break them down at all. And I was really surprised that not every other team just said, well, that's how you beat Manchester United, why don't we go for that? So maybe you've got a point, Mr. Boba Django. I had to say that again, I love the name. But yeah, maybe you've got a point. Maybe you do have a point. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Rich, I'm so sorry I couldn't get you on for longer, mate. I really appreciate coming on. Definitely.
Stuff, and I think it's better I didn't come on straight away. But I agree what G said. It's like a little therapy thing. So
exactly, yeah.
All good.
No worries. Thank you very much for coming on. Guys, if you are watching, make sure you do check out Rich Sports. Really, really good stuff on there. Make sure if you haven't already, go check it out. And also Red Devil Studio, of course. Check out G's channels there. Make sure you do check him out. But guys, that's it. Thank you so much for everyone for watching, commenting. Really do appreciate it. Really does help the stream when you guys, leave your thoughts and comments. So thank you so much for doing that throughout the stream. Make sure you check out all the channels as well that have been mentioned during the stream. Subscribe to this channel if you want to. Feel free to. If you don't want to, then don't have to. But if you want to, feel free to do so. Leave a like if you aren't already, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And hopefully I'll come back to you for the Everton preview. Bit more positive, a bit more fire in the belly, and hopefully the team can do that and can actually perform and give us something to smile about, really. But thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll all see you in a bit.